Okay, so I'll just share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so firstly, like, sorry, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. So based on your requirements that you sent across, okay, it perfectly fits our public assessment process that is directly catered by our tool. Uh, so I'll just go through that public assessment cycle to start with, and then I'll show you the screens, what the companies
Mm-hmm.
would be seeing, what you will be seeing, and all the processes in place. Okay, so just on that. And also, like, this would be an opportunity to confirm like we have understood the requirements
Mm-hmm.
perfectly in the first step. Okay, so first, what we have understood, there are like six values on which you kind of
Mm-hmm.
assess the company. Okay, so you have a fixed methodology, like it can be a scoring methodology and a questionnaire. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly the thing here. That's the first step, which is like preparing the methodology and the
Mm-hmm.
list of participating companies, which I think about 430 companies you already have. So that
Mm-hmm.
list of companies is already there with you. Then we create a survey and questionnaire within the tool. Okay, so because our tool is completely flexible, customizable, configurable, whatever survey questionnaire that you say, give to us, we can exactly replicate it into our tool. So there is no fixed questionnaire that you will have to use. So
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing like that. Uh, and the third process is assessors would assess the company score. So this is where the analyst from your end would be kind of collecting the information
Mm-hmm.
on the publicly available publicly available data, sorry. And based on that data, you would be kind of selecting some of the responses and scores on the questionnaire that you have provided or we have created.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this particular step. And once that is done, on this particular step, you will also kind of provide your comments such that, like, based on what you have given that particular score to the company, and also you can attach the evidence that based on what evidence you are giving a particular score to the company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next is like you will be inviting the company. So this process here, you will be following for all the 400 companies, and at the end of that, you would be inviting the companies to provide their feedback on what scores you have provided. So a kind of conversation would start between the analyst and the companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that company can either agree, disagree to what they have to say about the scores that you have given, and then also they would have a chance to provide their evidence based on which they say that we disagree or agree to whatever analysis that you have done.
Um, can I just
Uh,
interrupt? Actually,
sure,
I
sure.
think for our process, I guess like steps number 4 to 7 wouldn't be relevant actually
Okay,
because we like we have conversations with companies, but we wouldn't expect them to come in and look at the how we scored them
okay, okay,
and comment.
okay,
Right.
fine.
We're the only ones inputting the data.
Okay, fine. So no problem. So that's fine. But there was one of the points that was mentioned in the PDF was
Mm-hmm.
about the track and recording the engagements.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
in that particular point, like, how exactly do you do that? Is it through emails? Do you do that, or like how do you kind of do that engagement with the companies? Just to understand the process.
Yeah, they're usually calls. We have a director of advocacy, and she leads that initiative. And so we would reach out to the companies, say that we want to have discussions with them, and then we pool some of the research that we've conducted on companies, and that really guides our conversations we're having with them. And
Okay,
then we do use those conversations, like we get additional information from those calls that then kind of input that into the research all the data we're collecting on a company, and that can impact how we're scoring a company depending on this conversation. But it's something like proactive that we're doing on our end, and
okay,
part of the engagement's also just for them to be aware of what our priority points that we care about
got it.
as well.
Got it. Sure, sure, no problem. So that's perfectly fine. So we can like
Mhm,
remove this 3 points and then directly come to the reallocation of score. So after you have that
mhm,
conversation with the company, or like we can have a box as well within the survey where you can put all the
mhm,
engagements or your points the analyst would like to put after your conversation with the companies,
mhm,
and then the scores would be reallocated, and then there would be a statistical analysis, the scoring like custom methodology that you have for scoring. I saw one of the documents where there are some calculations that happen before giving the scores. So
mhm,
all those calculations can be done at this particular point, all the mathematical calculations, statistical calculations, like if you want to have an averages of a particular sector average and regional average, etc., all those things can be done at this particular area.
mhm,
Then there is, like once that is done, there can be a feedback report at the end of the process, okay, where you would kind of share your feedbacks with the companies in a form of a scorecard. uh, so each company would have their own scorecard, and that would
mhm,
have the data that you would like to show them. And that scorecard can also so there are two types of scorecard. So one would be a basic company level scorecard, where only individual companies information is there, and one is a kind of a consolidated scorecard like a sector scorecard or a overall benchmark level scorecard, if I may say. So those kind
mhm,
of scorecards can be created, and then you can send those scorecards across. So these scorecards can be either in a digital format, or it can be in a PDF format. So both of them
mhm,
is possible. So yeah, basically this is the process that I understood that you would be needing. So this is how
mhm.
the tool works as well. So if you do you have any questions before we move forward to showing the product?
No, ready?
Okay, okay, cool. So
Um,
yeah, sure. Yeah,
Not at
listen.
my end.
Okay. Cool. So now what I'll do is I'll first show you what companies, or not, in your case it would not be companies, but the analysts would be seeing when they get into the system. Okay. So I'll just take you one step uh, ahead. So once they log in, okay. So we have just tried to build a bit of a demo specifically for you. So
Mhm,
yeah. So this is the back end of the system. So all the analysts would be having kind of an
mhm,
admin right or a partial admin right, depending on what you want that analyst to be doing. Okay. And then what they would see is the list of all the companies in this particular participant, like manage participant screen. Okay. And once they see that particular list,
mhm.
they can click on whatever one of the companies. So this is the test site. So you can click on like login as that particular participant. So login as that company. Okay. So once you click on that particular uh, uh, icon, okay, it would take you to something like this, like to the analyst would see something like this, where you will see the list of all the questionnaires that are been there. So I have just for demonstration purposes I have created these two, so one from the previous year and one for this year. So this is how it would look
Oh, so this could be a
like.
way because we want to track year to year.
Yes, yes, so this is exactly where you will be able to see all the
Could
year
this be
on
a way
year
to do
data.
year to year?
Yes, yeah. So we can create this surveys multiple year. Okay, the template or the questionnaire can remain same, but we can have multiple surveys. So every year there will be one survey. Okay,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
once I get into that particular one of the surveys, so this is the 2023 survey. So this is the list of your the values that you have, and uh,
Mhm.
the questions or indicators that are there within that particular values would be when you click on that particular link. But this is an kind of an overview page where you will see the scores. If you like if there is no custom scoring or a direct scoring, you can have it, can see the scores directly here. You will get the
Mm-hmm.
status like whether that particular value has been completed, like the data that has should be entered has been completed. You can also download
Mm-hmm.
a Word format of that particular value only. That is also possible.
Mm-hmm.
So if in case you want to share with someone or something. So this is the complete overview page. So this would give you an overview. So once I click on this particular link, okay, it would take me to something like this,
Mm-hmm.
where you will see all the indicators. Okay, so this is indicator
Okay.
2, then there is indicator 3, etc. It can be multi-select questions, single select
Mm-hmm.
questions, text boxes. There is an evidence box as well where you can add evidences. Okay, I'll come to that part. So there are about 50
Okay.
plus question types that you
Okay.
can use. You can have a tabular format. All those things are definitely doable, possible. Uh, so in your case, what you will do is in the assessment, you will select one of the scores or one of the options. Then the analyst can put their comment based on what they have selected that particular score. Okay, they can attach an evidence. Now in the evidence, when you click on it, okay, you have two options whether you want to attach a URL, like it can be a URL because it's a publicly
Mm.
available information. You can directly add a URL. Now when you add a URL, the system would automatically take a snapshot of that particular URL and convert it into a PDF. Okay, so it would be automatic. You will not have to
Okay.
do anything. So that because like this URLs, whenever they have added, because it's a web address, whenever the companies change their website or something, the evidence gets destroyed and you do not have anything to show or to for your own records. So we already or automatically take that snapshot of that URL into a PDF format. Okay, just like I'll just show you by
Mm-hmm.
because I've just used google.com. So the PDF generated from the URL, when you open it, it would show you the exact snapshot of the google.com that is there. Okay, so it would create a PDF like
Okay.
this.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and also you can attach
Mm-hmm.
a file if you directly have a PDF file from that uh, company. And in the URL also, if you have a URL of a PDF file, you can directly add that URL here. It would directly download the PDF on that particular URL and add it to the system. So that's automatic if there is a URL on a with a PDF document. Okay, and you can add the file name, you can have description like what that evidence is all about. If you want any additional information, all those additional information can be added, so it's customizable based on your needs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have evidence date, you can have uh, source URL or something like that, whatever additional thing you would like to have as
Mm-hmm.
an additional. You can also edit, remove those URLs. So when you edit, you can edit all those information. So all that is possible when you are collecting the evidence. So that's about when it comes to collecting the evidence. Once the evidence is added, it's displayed here, so you can also visit the same thing or details from here. So this is the first question, and then I thought it was a conversation with the company. So you can have such conversation with the company where company will come in, enter their comments, then you go in, you add the comments in the same conversation. So it would kind of create like a chat box, but in your case you are not using it, so I'm not going deep into that particular thing. But yeah, we you can,
Mm.
if needed, you can have a conversation directly here as well. And then there can be a reviewer comment. So any different type of uh, like questions you want to add in between all the, so the structure is completely customizable. So this is like
Okay.
just example based on our experience that we have with other clients. We have
Mm-hmm.
created these boxes, but there can be more boxes, there can be more drop downs, more information that you can collect for a single indicator. So there's
Could
no restriction
yeah.
to that. Yeah.
Could we also
Sorry.
do like a qualitative if we just like almost like a comment, but like sometimes it's not really we're not always collecting like yes nos, but we're just kind of like talking
Yes, yes,
about
absolutely. Yeah, you can have
okay.
a text box question. So like there is an analyst comment, so similar text question
Mm-hmm.
can be here as well. So it's like
Okay.
it's absolutely customizable. So that's not an issue at all. Okay,
Okay.
so that's doable. Now,
Mm-hmm.
one of the requirements was a year-on-year kind of a
Mm-hmm.
comparison kind of a thing. So
Mm-hmm.
firstly, like once, so I have shown you. So you see this green border here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is because like in 2022 survey that I just showed you, so this is the
Mm-hmm.
2023 one. In 2022, I had selected this one, this
Mm-hmm.
option. Okay, so this is a pre-filled option, or we automatically pre-populate it from the previous year if the question remains the same. Okay, so you do not have
Mm-hmm.
to go back and see what was selected last year. It would automatically pre-populate if
Okay.
this particular page, like you are coming or visiting this page for the first time, or you have not saved it at all or something like that, so it would indicate what you have already
Mm-hmm.
selected. Okay, so because like from our experience, like about 60 to 70% of the information remains same. There
Mm-hmm.
is about 30% change. So for that 30% change, I don't think so analyst needs to waste time in like going back, seeing what was selected, and again they have to
Mm-hmm.
select. So we pre-populate it. If you want to change it, you can change it. If you want to keep it same, you can keep it same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another way of seeing the history is from here, this history box,
Oh, that's
dialog box we
great.
have. So whatever responses that you would select, okay, let me kind of go back to 2022 to show you a proper example. Okay, so here I have selected in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so here we have an history box. So it would firstly show the responses that have changed over time for the same instance. Okay, for 2022, all the changes that the analyst would have made during the whole period. Okay, 2 3 months period. All those log would be stored here. So you will come to know which analyst would have selected what option during this particular cycle. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
will also see all the company's responses. So you will also see the company, like if there are 400 companies, all of them have some response for this particular indicator.
Mm-hmm.
This particular list would show like company A what response has been selected for this indicator, company B what response has been selected. So other companies information for that particular indicator is also shown as an history.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in case there are two companies for which you want to compare, like if Adidas and Reebok are two similar companies, so you would want to probably know like what Adidas has selected while submitting something for Reebok. Then
Mm-hmm.
you can do so. This is all admin. Only administrator can see this all company view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
And I
last
assume
year,
it's
sorry.
I assume it's no problem to have, if it's 400 companies, that's fine. Is there a limit to
No,
how
no,
many
there is no
how many?
limit. So
Okay.
we do this assessments like UNPRI, if you are aware. They are using our system. Okay, United Nations of
Yep.
yeah. So they are having about 3,000 companies,
Okay.
or like they were doing 3,000 this year. They are like 4,000, 5,000 companies. They are going to collect the data. So there is
Okay.
absolutely no problem. System is capable enough to kind of handle that kind of a request. So no problems with that. Maximum what you will see is the scroll bar here if there are 400 companies, but that's absolutely okay. And then there is also history of the last year, so you can also see last year's response if there is any response from last year. Okay, so all this history is already available. Okay, any questions with respect to the history or the pre-population from previous year? All
No, I mean that's great
okay.
to be able to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And maybe you're getting to it later, but is there kind of overall reporting? Some over.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so we'll
maybe get to that
come to
question.
that as a, we'll
Yep.
call it as
Okay.
data set. I'll just show you in a bit. uh, Few other areas that you can use here is this is the what you say, the guidance notes. You can add some guidance notes here against each of
Okay.
the indicators to explain what that particular indicator is all about in case the analyst does not know the details of it or anything. You can also flag the indicators to
Mm.
come later, so it's a bookmark kind of a thing. You can bookmark indicators, or also you can bookmark the page, and that flagging is also
Yeah.
displayed on the overview page. So this is a side
Mm-hmm.
overview which is directly there on the screen. So you can navigate to any other questions or any other values directly from the same page. So that is already there. uh, uh, Lastly, like there is a share a page feature. I'm not sure it would be used by you, but uh, specifically when it comes to companies, like if you have a conversation with companies or get information from the companies, you normally have multiple people from the companies who would be participating or who would be having the data for each individual values. So instead of them registering individually, you can share a particular page with the individual or your colleague, and then they can come in and only respond to that particular page. And there can be a super user and user kind of a thing, but like I don't think so that would be much of a use for you at this point, but that's
Mhm. If we
yeah.
wanted to like make like overall comments that like don't really impact the score, but we just wanted to be able to access it very easily, kind of like on a macro level. Um, I guess an example is like we had a conversation with a company and we just wanted to make a few comments at a high level. Could we like comment? Is there like a higher level place to make a comment?
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, see, just to kind of give you a brief about what I'm just showing you. So, nothing in this particular page is static. Okay. So, it's not
Mhm.
that if we have created something or the structure we have created in like whatever you are seeing currently, the structure is completely kind of customizable. Like each
Okay.
of these boxes, each whatever you see here is customizable or configurable, so to say. Okay, so whatever additional text questions you would be needing, you want it, like we also have feature like it can be an admin only, it can be a read only. So on a certain indicator, if you want, like if I've selected this, then there is no need for another indicator to be displayed. So that show and hide of indicators or branching logic can automatically done, because all that is uh, that logic can be incorporated into the system. So whatever additional things that I'll just show you some other examples from other clients as well. So
Hmm.
if you see, like this is textile exchange. So if you see the size of this particular survey,
Hmm.
so each of them you can have sections, you can have sections within sections, so all those is completely customized. So you'll not, when looking at this particular site, you will not feel that you are using Probench that I just showed you for your example, right? So it's
Right.
completely different.
Do you guys configure it, or it's the user can configure it?
No, even you can configure it if like obviously you will need some training there, but it is like completely accessible to you. You can do
Right.
with brief training, even you can do that. So everything in the backend. So I'll come to that page as well where you can configure these pages. But if you see this, whatever blocks that you would need,
Hmm.
okay, it can be put there. Okay, you will see the stable questions. You see the stable questions here. So these are all the pop-ups, and within the pop-up there are other questions. So it's like one level deeper. Okay, and at this particular thing, if there are like this logics as well, or calculations that happens, rules that we have implemented. So based on the rules, there would be some calculations happening. So you see the calculation based on what I have added here, the volume and the rate and everything has been calculated. So this kind of rules and automatic calculations can also be done based on what I select, what I deselect, all those things. So this is the total of this particular column. So we have this uh, yeah. So here if we select few of the things, it would show hide from that particular table. So additional
Hmm.
row has been added. So this is a dynamic table that we have. So all this, like there are lots of things that you can do. So from that particular
Hmm.
standpoint, yeah.
I have a question. So one
Sure.
thing, this is not something we really currently do, but
Yeah.
something that's like a goal of ours is to start like purchasing some data so we don't have to manually do it like collect it ourselves. So let's just say we had or even like a data set, public data set from something like ranking digital rights, and it applied to like 100 companies in our index, and we wanted to create a question and have it automatic, like we take this data set and just I want it to automatically feed for all the companies where there's a data point on a certain thing. Could that like automatically be done in the system so we don't have to like manually input
Right.
that? We just want to
So
upload something.
right. So that particular thing is still not there with us. Okay.
Hmm.
I think that was one of the last points that you have added here
Yeah.
to pull the
Hmm.
data from external sources. So access to nutrition, we can probably try doing that because they are our clients. So we might get data from there because the database structure and things are same. But from other sources, we might have to run some scripts. We might have to talk to them if they have an API or something using which we can pull the data. But at this particular point in time, we do not have multi-system integration, or we cannot kind of pull the data from some external sources.
Okay.
So that part of that requirement is not with us. But yeah,
Okay.
saying like we can probably write some scripts and at a later date, not for the first time, but yeah, maybe in future,
Yeah.
next year or something, we can definitely try getting that data and talk to the other partners if they are ready to share the data, etc.
If it was like an
Yeah.
Excel file, it still wouldn't be possible to upload.
Yeah,
Like,
if there is an Excel file, we definitely have a way to upload it. Okay, so similarly, like
mhm.
one of your questions was whether we can import your previous year's data that you would like to have. So yeah, we can definitely import your previous year's data. So what we will have to do is we'll create the survey that we used to have in the previous year and share an CSV file with you. You provide us with the data in that particular format, and we can import it into the system. Or if it's too much work for you, maybe you can share whatever data you have, and we can kind of put it in our format, and we can import that data into the system for the previous years that you may have done it outside the system. So that import of
Okay.
data is definitely possible. So similarly, the import can be done for the external sources as well. So
Okay,
that's
I was just saying,
absolutely
like, if
doable.
we were able to get like an Excel file because it's like a
Yes.
publicly available information.
Yeah.
Let's just say I had a list of like 10 companies and it's like a data point.
Right.
If we then just wanted to be able to, and
Yes.
we had the question in the survey. If
Right.
we were that could like automatically populate for all the applicable companies.
Yeah. So that
That was
we
kind of
can have a bulk upload. So you can do it for all the 400 companies at a time. That's absolutely doable. You can
the.
import the data accordingly. So that's absolutely fine. We already have that feature available.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, these are some other examples.
Hmm.
So you see they have like this is for Collar Foundation, Fair Index, and they have added this additional drop down box under the yes and no question. So all you can have whatever you want to additional. So that's what I'm showing you here. Uh, that's it. Uh, so any
Hmm.
questions from a front end look and feel standpoint? Also, one last question, like there is also a possibility where there would be a sign off page at the end. So once
Hmm.
the analysis for a company is done and you are finalizing it, you can
Hmm.
submit that responses for the company. So there is a sign off, and at the sign off stage, if you want a report or a scorecard to be automatically generated only with the company scores and company information,
Hmm.
etc., a company level scorecard that can be automatically generated. So a process can be set, okay, and on the sign off or on the submission, a scorecard would be automatically generated. And if you see at the start, when I show you, you see this scorecard, show scorecard. So
Hmm.
this is the way the scorecard would appear once it is automatically generated. Okay, so you can kind of like the analyst can go in and access that scorecard to see what the scores are, or maybe you can invite the companies to see it, or there may be links as well. And on that link also you can show the scorecard. So
Hmm.
uh, all that is automate. You if you want to automate the whole process, that's doable.
Okay.
Okay, now coming to your question about customizing the questionnaire. Okay, so don't get a bit overwhelmed with the amount of information that is being shown. But yeah, this is the way we can create. This is the page where we can create the complete questionnaire. Okay, so when you click on all this, you can create these questions here. You have this multiple number of question types. Okay, so as I said, there are 50 plus question types here. So you can have multiple question types. You can select the type of questions. You can create as many sections you want, as many pages you want, as many groups you want. You can have within the group, you can have as many other multiple things you want. If you want to add logic, you can add logic like this. So there are lots of things that are possible. And once given a training, so there will be a bit of a learning curve there. But yeah, once
Hmm.
given a training, it is like pretty easy and can be completely customized based on your needs.
Okay, great.
Okay. And also one more thing, when it comes to scoring, we can set the scoring directly here. If you see the score, so each
Hmm.
individual option or each box that you collect information, you can have some predefined scores there for that if there are no custom calculation for that particular question or indicator. And then each section or each page can also have weightages. Okay, so if I may just show you here, so these are all the sections, right? So management policy, governance, and you see there are these weightages. So these scores are weightage for that particular section. So if say value one that you have, so first
Hmm.
value would have about 30% weightage, second value would have 20% weightage, third value would have 10% weightage. So you can set the weightages for the scores, and the scores here are completely kind of would be rolling up. So the indicators, the child level indicators, the score would be kind of rolling up to the parent level indicator, and then parent level indicator would go to the section level. So it would be a roll up kind of a scoring. So if a child gets zero, then the parent gets zero. If a child gets 50%, then depending on the number of childs, the parent would get 50% or less than that. So it would kind of roll up method. So that's the default way of scoring.
Okay.
There is also a custom way of scoring that I'll just come. But till then, if you have any questions on this particular screen or uh,
I
anything else.
guess right now our scoring is like not dependent on each question. We kind of look at it all holistically, and then we have a scoring methodology.
Okay.
I think there could definitely be room to make it more rules based with like this,
Yes.
but just saying right now we don't currently have it in that type of model.
So just to understand, like you have you as you said, you do not have an indicator level scoring, right? So what
Hmm.
you like, so you mostly have this qualitative data, and then based on the quality of the data, you kind of do the external calculation. How do you normally do that?
Well, each pillar basically has a score, and we have like a methodology for like what a pillar would score depending on like the different it is dependent on the metrics, but it's not like each metric gets a score. It's like they have targets, they have data but no targets is a lower score than just having data and targets is a higher score. So
Okay.
then they get a score, and then it's average, and then we have like a range of like what we consider as like best, what we consider as good, and what we consider as bad, not bad but like needs improvement. So we have like it's not done on a metric level, but yeah, on the pillar level, and then there's an overall score, and
Okay.
then the overall score is what they get assigned essentially.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
So yeah, in that case, what just an idea. I'm sharing the idea. What you can do is like at a pillar level, you can have a question at the end where you can have a single select or multi select boxes where you can score them based on your external calculations that you may have done, and that scoring can be then used to kind of show a pillar level score in the scorecard and all those things.
Hmm.
So that can also be done. So still the scores would be kind of recorded within the system itself instead of recording it externally and getting it
Hmm.
into the system. So yeah, that's just an example there. Okay. Now coming to the customization of scoring. Okay. So
Hmm.
we this access to nutrition, the complete scoring methodology that they have is kind of a customized scoring methodology. When I say customized, it's because they have this global multipliers, healthy multipliers, etc.
Hmm.
They have in their system. So the scoring is not directly what they enter into the template or the survey, but they have multiple calculations that happen. So
Hmm.
for the very same reason, so what I'm just showing you is the data set, and data set is where you can have uh, the data. uh, uh, it's a kind of a customizable report, so to say. Okay, so here you can export all the data that you have captured during the data capturing phase, and also while getting the data, you can also customize that data in a sense. If you want an if statement like you do it on Excel sheets, okay, where if something is equals to something, then you show something on a particular column. Okay, so that kind of an if statement, like in this example. Okay, if you are scoring, so if the response is not blank, then give a score of 5, otherwise give a score of 0. Okay, so that kind of scoring and customization of formulas are possible. Okay, so and in the same data sets, we have like about 50 plus functions where you can have averages, summations, quartiles, quintiles, you can have ranks. All this is possible within these data sets. So it's when we say data sets, the output of these data sets would come in a CSV, XLS,
Ah, okay.
HTML, etc. format. So it's kind of a report. Okay, so to
Mm-hmm.
say, and that report is completely customizable based on what fields you want out in an Excel file. Okay, so if you have say 10 questions or 10 indicators, and if you only want 5 indicators with some calculations to be done, then you can only have those 5 indicators out as an output from an export standpoint. So and also a calculated field can be uh, extracted out of it. Am I making like uh, is it clear, or should I like
So is
elaborate it
this is
further?
like if you for like number of companies, let's just say we wanted to look at performance on like a certain pillar and then some of the metrics and compare companies, we could select that
Yes,
here and then
yes.
download it.
Yes. So exactly. So if you see here, the includes participants that match. So this would be here. It would be your yearly kind of a survey that you put in, and all the companies that are part of that particular survey would be part of an output or the CSV file. And in that CSV file, there would be all the comparisons that you can do like an Excel sheet. Okay,
Okay.
whatever you want to do, like either do it after extracting the Excel sheet, or you can also do it using the built-in formulas. You can also do it before the Excel sheet is extracted. Okay, so both of them is definitely possible doing that. So uh, yeah, so this is the way you can extract or export the data for all the
Okay.
400 companies in one place, and you can create any number of such small data sets, bigger data sets. There is no limit to the number of data sets that you can create. Okay, and also this, like once we give you the training, it is pretty simple. There are some selections from here which you can do, and the fields would be automatically created. So all those things are already there as a part of this offering. Okay,
Okay. I think it would be, I mean, honestly, I would be doing a lot of this would be on my shoulders to do a lot of this. It does look a little bit confusing with the like the coding part of it.
right.
But yeah, that's so
So
funny.
yeah, so if you compare this, like if you see how you normally use Excel sheet and the formulas in the Excel sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very similar to that. So currently, because you are seeing it for the first time, it's a bit complicated for you,
Hmm.
because this some of these functions are not kind of you are not used to seeing those functions.
Hmm.
But this response function that you are seeing, they are automatically generatable functions. Okay, so after on clicking 2 or 3 buttons, they would be automatically created for all the indicators. So that is there. Only the additional calculations that you might have to do for those formulas you'll have to. And
Hmm.
also our team is always there to help you. So
Okay.
even our team can create this data sets based on your requirements. So that is also there. So we have a service which can help you to create those data sets. And
Okay.
once you create it for 1 year, for the next year you can just copy the whole data set into for the next year, and continue using it. Only make
If
the
yeah.
respective changes and you can keep on using. So we have a copy functionality as well. So you just copy. So you have this
Hmm.
copy here. So if I copy this particular data set, it would create a copy of it. I change the name,
Hmm.
I change the survey, and it's ready to go for the next year. So only for the first year, there would be some like if you would feel a bit complicated, but then the flexibility and the customization that you would get
Mm-hmm.
is like up to what you want. You will not have to
Okay.
create anything new for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And like just to show you the functions that we have, so like as you see, there are like these are all custom functions that we have created for uh, access to nutrition. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's like if the age of the children is under 18, then give one score. If the age is 6, then give 6, like
Mm-hmm.
0.6, etc. So similarly, if there is a need, okay, we can create these custom functions for you as well. Okay, but otherwise there are some inbuilt functions like averages. Then you have this concatenation, contains, count. So all those you normally use in your Excel formulas. So you have this division, uh,
Okay.
all those like there are 50 plus functions. So you have the details of all of them.
Yeah.
So
I have to say, just so you know, we're like a little bit, it's like we're a team only of like four, soon to be five, maybe.
right,
We're like this is all great, and like I think this is also what we can aspire to be doing more, but we
yeah.
are think are just kind of say just like our versions will be a little bit simpler than maybe
Yeah, yeah,
what.
absolutely. So I'm just showing you the capabilities at this
Yeah.
particular point in time, because once
Yes.
you start
Yeah.
using it, because you will have a lot of free time. Because currently, what you would be doing is you would be using Excel sheets, and there would be so much there in that particular Excel sheet,
Hmm.
and maintaining those Excel sheets are really difficult. So
Yeah.
whenever our other clients also have started, they started with something small, less complicated. Then once
Hmm.
they understand the power and what
Hmm.
more we can do, they keep on building it over the years. And
Hmm.
Right,
most
because
of our, yeah, sorry.
I think this is just showing Allison just the the
Yeah.
flexibility of the system to
Right.
do
Yes,
other things and get that
Yeah.
information. So
right.
if we have the data in there, there's a way to kind of get it out however we want to
Yes,
slice and dice
absolutely.
it. So
Yes.
so
So
Okay.
I wouldn't get too hung up on
yeah,
Okay.
kind of
so
the
it's kind
codes
of,
and the
yeah,
formulas like in Excel.
right. So it's kind of
Hmm.
an Lego block. So we have multiple blocks, and you
Hmm.
can create any structure out of that Lego blocks, whatever you want to, in whatever format you want to. So it's absolutely flexible in doing that. We can also
Hmm.
this export this particular data sets in a uh, directly in a Power BI format. So you can directly export it to Power BI, and you can import this data set directly into Power BI if at all you want
Hmm.
that kind of help as well. So yeah, so now I just like this is like I went through the data collection, then the analysis of the scores and all those things
Hmm.
you have seen. Finally, what I'll show you is the kind of scorecards that we can create, because
Okay.
there's less time. So uh, uh, even the scorecards are quite flexible, and we have multiple designs, and it's absolutely based on how you want it. So I'll just show you
Hmm.
some examples. So this is the example that Global Child Forum uses. So we have this overall score. We can have sector average,
Hmm.
regional average, etc. Instead of sector averages, if you want kind of a yearly comparison, even that is possible. You can kind of provide the company with some feedback on the next steps, what
Hmm.
they have done good. All those things can be possible. So this is a section level. For you it can be a value, for individual values
Yeah.
you can have such scores. So now we are drilling deep into individual sections, and for individual sections you can have each indicator, what are their scores, what are the averages
Hmm.
overall from a sector standpoint. So this is one way of showing it, like what is the
Yeah.
possibility and what score you have got it. Okay. Another way of showing it, this is LGBT, and I'm showing all this because these are all publicly available information.
Right.
So because
Yeah.
so yeah, so all the methodologies are public. So like I'm not kind of disclosing anything which I should not. So yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, so here as well, like if you see the ones, the options that are selected are kind of shown in bold, and other
Hmm.
options are not shown. So even this, so here only the score of the company is being displayed. There is no averages or anything, which is there. So you can show, hide. So a kind of similar design. Okay, you can
Hmm.
have this radar chart, bar chart. So these are all interactive. You can also kind of show, hide certain things. So this is complete interactive here. Okay. So next is like I'll show this is textile exchange. So if you see, there is varieties of it, and there's like completely how you want the things to be. So we built it like the HTMLs are kind of the designs are normally provided by clients, but we can also reuse the ones that we already have, and we just have these placeholders where it is replaced by the scores or whatever information that you want. So it's like completely, if you
Mm-hmm.
see the
Yeah, be really nice.
the
I mean, down the
complexity.
road, we want to create some type of like investor
Yes.
portal
Yes.
for investors to log onto and to
Right.
look at like
So yeah,
this.
for investors, I think this sector scorecard that we have, so this sector scorecard is kind of used by investors. So you can have such drop downs, you can change,
Mm-hmm.
and each chart that you see are downloadable. So even like
Mm-hmm.
it would downloadable in PNG if you want to share it on social media or anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely doable. Put it in your PPTs,
Mm-hmm.
like within companies, and all those things are doable here. So yeah, I'm just
Uh,
scrolling.
just
Yeah.
just curious, any data that we put into this system, if we wanted the data ourselves for whatever reason, can we, is it downloadable into
Yes,
an
yes,
Excel
absolutely. Yeah.
form of some sort?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you already have an export functionality as well, where you can export the whole data that you have kind of put in.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Okay.
doable, as well as you already have this data set, so you can create those data sets to customize the output. So that's absolutely available. So, and like we in our contracts as well, like we never kind of claim the ownership of the data. The data complete ownership is yours. So whenever you want the data, we are bound to provide you with that data. So we do not claim any ownership on the data. And also when it comes to the security of the data, uh, each of our clients have their separate database. It's not on a cloud or anything. They have a separate database, so there is no chance that one client can see the data of another client or anything like that. So it's completely confidential when it comes to data as well. So we keep utmost care that the data is not kind of shared with anyone. Okay, and whatever
Mm-hmm.
information that I'm showing you currently, these are all public information. And
Mm-hmm.
also like if you see, I showed you the uh, dummy companies like company ABC, etc. So it's like there's nothing that I'm uh, so this is as you saw, and for as you saw, these are the charts that we have
Yeah.
created. Okay, I think you might have already seen most of
Mm-hmm.
them. So you can have comparisons between companies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
think this is obvious. We really would want something like this. We're probably state of our data is not ready to be
yeah,
totally where all these scorecards are, but like I think like in like a year from now or something, this would be like fantastic to
yes, yes,
have.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
yeah, we can have such complex scorecards as well. So that's like you can
Mm-hmm.
have like we had this traffic signal this as well. So you
Mm-hmm.
can show, so there are multiple representations of the data, so depending on how you want
Yeah.
it to be.
And could we put in like our own branding, like our
Yes,
own
yes, absolutely. So if you
okay.
see all our clients, like they normally like here as I showed you, uh, like access to nutrition has their own branding here. So you'll not,
Mm-hmm.
this is also ProBench. You'll
Yeah.
see this is also ProBench. You'll see this is
Okay.
also ProBench. So you can have those color combinations,
Okay.
the logos, everything can be your. Even if you want to, you can have your own URL as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for textile exchange, they are using textileexchange.org. For you, you can use J lensnetwork.org, like something like
Oh, okay.
reporting.jlens of network.org or something. So basically, what you will have to do is you will just have to point your domain to our server. The IP address will give, and it would start
Mm-hmm.
working accordingly. So
Okay.
all those customization is absolutely doable.
That would be, yeah. Right. Like I said, wouldn't be anything we could be able to do right away, but it's something like we definitely would want to do in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
1 to 2 years. Yeah.
yeah. So I think I've tried and covered most of the things. Anything that I have not covered from
Sorry.
this points or high priority points, please let me know. uh, and I can.
So just so like we conduct like calls with companies that are usually like on Word documents. Just this is more in the analysis level. Could we like have like sorry, I'm fighting a cold right now. So
Sure, no problem.
anyways, could we like upload like have documents like Word documents like tied to a company? So we go to a company page and we have all the data, but like also I'm sorry,
No
Just to
problem, no
have
anything
an
problem.
else
attachment,
tied.
to
Have
have
some
like
word.
a Word attachment with the file.
Yeah,
Yeah, with the,
absolutely. So that's what I just showed you, right? Here. So on this particular page, like we have these attached documents.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
similarly, you can have a separate page on which you can only kind of collect information about your calls with the company, and only have such attached document. So there can be any number of such document links based on how you want it, and within that
Okay.
you can attach any number of files. There is no limitation. And also there is a provision where if there are multiple companies, I'm sorry, yeah, so
Mhm.
if the same attachment you want to use for some other page or some other values, you can search it, browse it from here, and use the same document again for another value. Okay, because there are possibilities that you might have evidences or that in a sustainability report, and that sustainability report contains the information for all the values that across that. So you can attach the same sustainability value document across for all the questions or indicators. So all that is there. So yeah, that can be done.
okay. And then
Mhm.
just turning to kind of pricing, and we mentioned
Sure.
support if we need extra support. How does that work?
Right. So pricing is like based on your 400 company. So this is on our website. You can feel free and have a look at a later stage. But the standard pricing that we would have, because the number of participants is about 400, it would be 799 GBP, okay, per month, uh, which would include. Uh,
Just a question about how you
sure.
define participants, because your participants, a lot of people, they directly input information, and the company themselves is, there's more interaction. In our case, it's just 400 companies that we're just separating them ourselves and inputting the data. It's sort of probably a different participant than than
Yeah, but
others, I would think.
ultimately the data that we collect is for each company, right? So when it says participants, it's the companies. So you have 400
Okay.
companies for which you kind of collect the data. So if you do not have, like, uh, if you're not having interaction with the company, but you would still collect the amount of data for that particular company, right?
Right.
Whatever information, whether it's publicly available information, you input the data or the companies input the data, it's kind of one and the same thing. But in the
Okay.
background, we will have to maintain those 400 companies within the system, right? So that is
Okay.
there. So because this is the first year and you are using so normally it's like 800 GBP for 150 participants, but for you, whatever the companies you have with the 400 companies, we are okay to like continue with the same number. Will not charge for any additional participants for the
Okay.
430 that you start with. So your initial starting price would be 799 GBP, and it would include all those things that we have mentioned here. It includes 24/7 ticketing system support as well. So there, if there are bugs, something not working, all those
Mhm.
things you have available. So we'll give you a Skype access to one
Mhm.
of our team members or our support team members. We have a support ticket system where you can raise a ticket and someone from our team would address the problems that you would have. So all those is included within the license. Okay, the training is included in the license, the daily backups, custom branding, custom domain branding, all those things are part of this because you are at a higher package. Uh, the standard one, you are there, the live scoring, the data collection, Power BI API, all these things are default part of your uh, we'll also include like regular updates, so that's fine. So whatever
But how come it
new,
says updates aren't included? Is that,
no,
I don't
we,
think
we
it,
we will include it for you, so don't worry. So
Okay.
so
okay,
that's fine. uh,
okay.
So
And
and these updates are normally like if you include new features or anything, like most of our ProBench is built based on like the requirements from our clients. So if the new requirements come up, we kind of build it and kind of share it with all our clients that we have. So yeah.
okay, is a contract required? Is this monthly, annual? What kind,
It's
what's their,
monthly. It's
okay,
monthly. Okay.
okay. So it's a monthly subscription basically,
Yes,
right?
it's
Is that
monthly
what we're looking?
subscription. Yeah. So it's a SaaS model. So it's a monthly subscription. And
Okay.
yeah, you can
Is
use it.
there any other upfront fees to set
No,
up or?
upfront fees is only for the setup, kind of like the system that we set up for you. Okay, this the questionnaire we'll have to set up. Obviously, like we can train you and you can set up the system, but for the first year, we would recommend that you uh, uh, take our services for that particular thing, and from going forward from the next year you can do it yourself, is how we can train you. As I said, like training is absolutely
Mhm.
available within the license, and we have mentioned 10 hours, but yeah, you can have more hours. We don't be very fuzzy about that. So we can train you whenever you want to. Like there are like about 4 or 5 clients who are kind of using the system without any our intervention, like Spot, ZSL Spot, and they are all using our system and they are using without our help. So they have
Right,
not encountered any problems. Only the first year is because we are setting it something new. You are new to the system. We kind of recommend you to use our services. But yeah, that extra cost we can only give you once you kind of give us the requirement or share the scoring methodology or your exact requirement of how you want the cycle to be taken, the questionnaire, the number of indicators that you want to add. So based on all those parameters, we'll get back to you with a cost, and then we can move ahead like based on is it okay with you, or uh, does that fulfill your
right.
budget and all those things.
Okay, and this is, so JLens is part of a larger nonprofit organization that's very concerned with, cybersecurity, ransom,
Yeah,
every software that we use has to be vetted in terms of, safety. Is there like a spec sheet that you have that we're not IT professionals, but somebody else in the organization can review it and say, oh, okay,
right.
that's,
So yeah, we have it, and we like if you understand the UNPRI, the are already using our system, and they have done pen testing, penetration testing, and all those things, and they are a huge organization as well. So we have sufficed to all those standards that they have. So yeah, we have some security document that we can share with you. We also have that pen
okay,
testing report that we can share with you, and you can get it verified once
right, that'd be
required.
great.
So yeah, we can do that.
Yep.
Okay. So you'll get back to us with more information just about what the first year like startup cost would be.
Yeah, but before that, you might have to share some details about the methodology or the kind of output that you are expecting us to have. Like I showed you a brief, like only we because we went through your site and we only found the name of the values, but what
Mhm.
indicators are there within the values we were not able to find. So we don't know how many indicators are there within each values, and so the number of questions, the structure that you might be expecting us to create. So we might need a separate call for that if you
Okay.
want to. But yeah, we would need all those brief details before we come back with a cost. Otherwise, we can provide you a very ballpark estimations, but that might not give you an exact idea. So if you can share anything, that would be really great, and a brief more about the requirement on the output side of it. So when it comes to scoring, there is a bit of less information that we have, like how you actually score. outside the system, within the system, what you would like to have. Any additional information that you can provide, we can that would help us to kind of give as near estimation as possible. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just we could do that, but just to know it's like pretty on our side. We don't have too much for each pillar. It's like maybe like 10 metrics on average
Okay.
for each pillar.
Okay.
But we do down the road, and I forgot to bring this up earlier, down the road, this is again also a long-term project, is like there's like 11 sectors under the JIX thing. I want to create like separate templates for each 11 sector, and it would like apply, like maybe a few metrics would apply. So we might add in a few, we might have like a different template depending on the sector, but it wouldn't be too much. It's just, I'm just trying to say, it's like we don't have too many metrics right now, but down the road maybe we might have some more, but not, it wouldn't, it's still like on the lower end probably compared to what we
Sure.
have
So
other
would it be
clients
part
doing.
of the same assessment, or would there be another assessment which would be running parallelly, like when it comes to those additional sector level templates that you're
Oh, it would
talking
be
about?
part of it. I would just meant like
Okay.
for pillars, like we would have a
Okay.
template. So like if a company's a materials company, they're using a certain template for like
Okay.
the
Okay.
society
Got it.
topic that
Got
compared to
it.
different companies.
So
Yeah.
based on what sector they are, there would be some questions that would be visible to them.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
kind of
That's
a
what I'm
thing.
thinking
Okay.
overall down the road. But right now we just have it all for, we don't have that done. And each pillar has like between like 5 to 10 metrics
Sure.
essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So, yeah, that's like, as I said, it's customizable, and if you want to add it at a later stage, it's absolutely like how you want to use
Mhm.
it, you can use it. There's no limitation to that, and there's no limitation to even the number of data sets that you can create or the number of scorecards you can create. So we only have limitation of the number of participants. There is also no limitation on the number of users, so to say. They are also unlimited, so you can create any number of your internal users or company users. There's no limitation to that. So only limitation is the number of assessments and the participants. Nothing else is kind of a limited. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, you can expand it to whatever level you would like to go.
Okay. So in terms of like next steps, what would just be the best? Like, I mean, we're still talking to a few other providers. We probably would just need like a week or two to kind of
No problem.
like discuss. But like, if we want to have like a second, another call, like what would be? I think like we probably would want to see things in like maybe a little bit more depth, but I don't know, like just in general, like what would be like the next steps on your part?
Yeah, so what I
We're
can do is
interested.
by Monday, maybe I can send across a kind of brief proposal from our side for with whatever we have
Mm-hmm.
discussed so far. Okay, it might, yeah, we would give you a link to some of the features as well, which you can see. If possible, I'll give you the
Mm-hmm.
recording of this video as well in case you want to revisit it further. So that would be thing. The security document that we have, will also share that document with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So uh, that is what I'll share on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like whenever you need another call, let me know. We can set up another call, maybe in a 2 weeks time or something, and then we can discuss it further. And also in that particular call, if you want to see any specific things, or any specific feature or any specific uh, doubts that you have, just let us know
Okay.
in advance, then I can ask my team to set it up accordingly, and that would give you a better idea of how you can use that particular thing. I mean, whatever doubt you have, we can clarify that on the call. So absolutely
Mm-hmm.
open to all those things.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this I
Yeah,
think
it's great.
we're gonna go through it on our end, but I mean, I can say like I feel at least on my end, it checks a lot of the boxes that we're looking
All right.
for. We still like have a few other conversations we want to have, but
Sure.
most likely we would be interested maybe in at least having another call about it. But
Yep,
yeah,
it was great.
yeah.
Right, because mostly like the ProBench is built for this. What requirements that you have given, that's exactly what ProBench is built for. So
Yeah.
it would definitely tick most of your boxes except for those external things. But yeah, uh, you can like see others. Oh, absolutely, you can have a look at
Yeah, no,
this.
that's great. It's great. So, well, we appreciate your time. We will
Yeah,
certainly,
thank you.
we'll get back to you and we'll take it from there. That was great.
Sure. So Monday
Yeah.
I'll send across the
So you wanna-
proposal with the documents
Yes.
across, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
it'd be great. Yeah, no rush, and that would be great.
Sure. All right. Nice meeting you both.
Yeah.
Have a great day and have a good weekend.
Sounds good.
You
You
too.
too.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.